This is going to be a super simple video showing how to use multimeters to check continuity. Continuity just means an electrical circuit like this wire is connected from that end to that end. So sometimes you might have a break in a wire or something like that. In a minute I'll show on an actual circuit board because that's when it gets way more complicated. But I just wanted to show the basics with these two multimeters because these two kind of represent the two ends of the scale. This is a high-end Fluke 88 automotive meter. This one is about the cheapest one you can find in a neighborhood hardware store. For purposes of finding continuity, they both do exactly the same thing. So if you have one that's kind of a higher end one like this and it's got multiple ports, for continuity you just want to make sure that you've got the red probe in the port that has that little omega sign. That's the sign for ohms. And the dial needs to be set to the same little omega sign. That's how you put this meter into the mode of checking for resistance. This meter also has that little button, which is nice because what it does is sound that little beeping sound whenever there's direct contact between the two leads. So with this kind of a multimeter, it's pretty easy. One probe on one side of the circuit, other probe on the other side of the circuit, you hear the beep and you know they're connected. And you can see on the readout there that it also shows you how much resistance there is. In this case, 0.2 ohms, which is virtually nothing. So that's what we would call continuity. It means everything's connected. That one makes it easy because it's what we call auto ranging. On the cheap ones, you have to start by setting the range. So over here on the right side these are all ohm settings. Over here, this is voltage. Forget about that for now. Over here, you'll see that you're supposed to pick a range of expected resistance. Since we're testing for continuity, which is essentially zero resistance, you set the meter to the lowest number it has. In this case, it's 200 ohms. And it doesn't have a beep or anything like that because it's not fancy. But then when you touch the two connectors together, two probes together, the reading should go to zero or pretty close to zero, just like that. And then you can do the same thing. You can check your circuit by putting one probe on one side, one probe on the other. Again, there's no nice beep, but you can see that it has about 0.4 ohms of resistance, and that is good continuity, so that alligator clip is good. Okay, here's a more real-world test. This is the back of an instrument cluster, and we know that this little socket, this little hole right there, is made for the turn signal indicator light bulb. And those two pads that light up the light bulb are connected to the 6th and 7th connector on this edge connector. So with the multimeter set to continuity, we count down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We touch that one. There's no way to see if it's connected in here or if anything is broken in there. So this will tell us. If we get that beep on one of these two pads, then we know one of those two pads is connected directly to 6. So let's try this one, and it's connected. The bottom one is not. We also know that pin 7 goes to the other pad, so this one should be connected. Top one's not, bottom one is. So that's how you test for continuity in a big circuit like this where you can't, it's not as easy as a wire just to see both ends. So just one last trick on this cluster. If you don't have a multimeter or you're still not comfortable using it, when you're working with light bulbs are kind of almost like a continuity tester all by themselves. So just take a 9-volt battery with a couple of leads clipped to it. You can buy these things online for peanuts or just tear one out of a transistor radio that no one uses. And just put one wire on pin 6 and then tap pin 7 and tap 7. In the cluster, you can see the light bulb going on and off as I tap. leave it on, take it off, leave it on, leave it on, take it off, leave it on. That tells you that the cluster works, because there's nothing more to it than those wires going to that light bulb. So if this test works, then your problem is not in the cluster if your indicator light isn't blinking. Hope that helps.